All right, more XDefiant gameplay action today. I think this is the third one that I'm putting up this week, so yeah, we're actually doing pretty well on the main channel. Love that. Still having fun with the game, still doing the streams. Been grinding the double XP weekend. During the week, this next week, probably be streaming more of the game, couple hours a night at least if I can. Still having fun with it. And, well, I mean, you could see it there for a bit. I was kind of messing with it. But the main focus, of course, of this gameplay is going to be the primary weapon I'm using. With this particular setup that I'm using on it, this ACR setup. So it went by kind of quick there in the beginning, but I'll go through all of it real quick here. I've got the lightweight barrel, the leather-wrapped rail, the reflex sight quick draw grip, and removed the stock on this one. So basically, choices I did on all the attachments were to speed it up, sprint out time, ADS speed, movement speed, even strafe speed a little bit as well. Just like all the mobility. I just tried to go into as much of the mobility as I possibly could have. Obviously, the damage range gets hurt a bit with that. So there's that, and the recoil gets hurt a bit. But truthfully, I still think this gun is a freaking laser. Like, even with all these mobility attachments, it took a little bit of getting used to. See, it's kind of rough in the start of this game. But once I get used to it and get into a groove, I thought this felt really good. And yeah, like the extra mobility just felt like a pro to me. Like, it didn't even feel I didn't even feel the negatives that much. Again, the recoil, it still feels like a laser. You only feel it at like super long ranges, and that's not really where I'm taking engagements with this gun anyways. And if I was going to be doing that, I'd rather use like a sniper, or rather use, I don't know, like an M16 or something like that. Not really the gun. The ACR, I mean, it can do it, and you can set it up for it, but like, again, those longer ranges, probably rather use sniper, M16, something like that. So I thought with the ACR, this gun would really excel if I tried this like fast mobility loadout and, you know, focused on being really good at mid-range in particular, but also it can still do that long range potentially if I need it to, and I can maybe even compete with the SMGs a bit up close as well with how mobile it is. So that was kind of the idea. You know, turn this into an AR SMG hybrid almost. With the up to mobility, and honestly, it just looks cracked, and it's just really fun. it's just really freaking fun to run around with this loadout. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you get used to it, I swear it's a lot of fun. Give it a shot. Is it the best loadout? Probably not, and I could probably tweak it a bit. And you know, maybe there's a better blend of like the mobility and the recoil and everything. Maybe there's a better blend that you could find. But I certainly think this is one of the most fun loadouts that you can run on the ACR. And I put on a pretty good show with it in this gameplay. Put a really good game in here. So yeah, love this ACR setup. I got back-to-back, spoiler alert, 50 bombs with this one, starting with this gameplay, I think. Maybe I'll do another video on the other one, we'll see. And just had a shit ton of fun with it. This is probably one of my favorite weapons to use in the game right now, this one with this particular loadout. But yeah, this is going to be kind of a riffing commentary. I'm not going to talk about the gun the whole video. It's too long for that, but you know, more general stuff with XDefiant. Still having fun with the game. I will say though, one thing that has been kind of frustrating me recently is they gotta nerf the Echelon. The Echelon faction, particularly the wall hack ability, but like the faction as a whole. You've got the wall hack ability is probably what pisses me off the most, because it's not too infrequent that you'll run into a lobby where 3 or more people will be running that, and it feels like you see like the revealed notification on your screen like the whole game. It feels like you're wall hacked like the whole game, and that's really frustrating. That's not super fun to play against, and it feels like that happens like pretty often. I think a lot of people have, you know, figured out that ability and that class is like really strong at this point, so you see that happen a lot. And again, it's just like not the most fun gameplay. But yeah, so they have that ability, which is arguably the strongest ability of all the classes. But then on top of that, they also have, I would argue, potentially the strongest passive as well, with like keeping yourself off the minimap without having to use like a suppressor or something like that. That's actually, the passive on that class is a lot stronger than I think, I don't know why I'm getting turned here, a lot stronger than I think people give it credit for, with how crazy it is. The passive is really good. So you have that arguably strongest tactical, arguably strongest passive, and then on top of that you have, I don't think this is arguable at all, the strongest ult in the game by probably quite a bit. Like, it's it's obnoxious how good the sonar goggles are. You can do some absolutely ridiculous shit with those. You can literally completely turn the tide of a match in like a 5-second span with those things, and it's not that hard to use either. So yeah, I'm still loving XDefiant, and again, I think the weapon balance in general is like pretty good. Actually, yeah, I think it's really good. There's obviously exceptions, but for the most part, for just like a new fresh off release FPS, I genuinely think it's one of the more well balanced ones that I've played, just strictly speaking weapon balance wise. But the faction balance, I do enjoy the factions. I do enjoy the different gameplay of them and messing with the different abilities. I think that they found that nice, like similar to like Black Ops 4 balance here, where it's it's not quite full hero shooter, but you do have those elements in the gameplay. But it is at the same time, while it can be fun, it also is probably where a lot of the frustration comes recently for me with this game, and specifically with the Echelon faction. Some of the other ones have some annoying things. Like a lot of people are not a big fan of the spider bot. As long as you don't get the bug where it like latches to you but doesn't latch to your face, as long as you don't get that bug, usually all you have to do once it latches onto you is just look straight down and spam your gun and you'll break it. A teammate can help you out as well. Not like anyone's going to do that, but that's another thing that can help with that. You could shoot it before it gets to you as well, but on controller that's honestly really hard. Not gonna lie, it's pretty difficult to do. Depending on what weapon you're using as well. Like if you have a sniper, that's not really, that's not going to be the most efficient way to deal with it. It's probably hard on M&K as well, actually, with a sniper or something like that. I could see why something like that would frustrate someone, and it can frustrate me at times too, but I don't think it's that bad. The Echelon, like wall hacks, and just the class in general, that's the one that frustrates me the most. And that's like the biggest gameplay problem that I have with the game right now. Outside of like network stuff and obvious stuff like that we've already talked about, that's something that I'd like to see adjusted and nerfed for sure. They could start with making the tactical ability only show up for yourself and not your entire team. I think that'd be a good start. Go from there and adjust it accordingly after playing around with that. But yeah. That being said, though, aside from that, I'm still having a shit ton of fun. This is the most fun I've had with a game in a while with one of these shooters. I say that I've had a lot of fun with the finals recently as well. But I mean, like that game is very different, though. I mean, like this particular type of like arena shooter. This is the most Black Ops 4 like game I've played since Black Ops 4, and it's been like 6 years since or so since that came out. 6 years, 5-6 years ish. Don't recall exactly, something like that. Since I was grinding that, and I've really missed it. Especially like recently, that game was a lot of fun. Just like grinding public matches on that. Ranked was a lot of fun. Competitive stuff was fun. Just a lot of fun with Black Ops 4 in general. I never thought a game like with that same feel. Well, from Call of Duty for sure. After MW19, I was like, well, we're never getting a Black Ops 4 ever again. Like, it's just not going to happen after MW19 sold as well as it did. And that's why, like, with Black Ops 6 coming out soon, I trust in Treyarch to make the best COD game they can, but I still think there's going to be some, top-down influence, outside influence there. And, I don't necessarily think that they are steering the ship completely and they're going to get to make the game that they want to make, if that makes sense. I could be wrong. But yeah, I don't think we're getting a Black Ops 4-like game from COD ever again, but I do think we got it here with XDefiant. And I hope that this game, I hope it continues to grow and succeed because, yeah, man, like having that Black Ops 4 type experience, I mean, I know I've talked about it in the other videos too, but it is a lot of fucking fun, man. And it's been really nice, and I'm going to keep doing streams on it, keep doing videos on it. Had fun with the ACR on this one. Maybe we'll do one on like the Vector next or something. I don't know. We'll see what type of gameplay I can come up with. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in the next one.